All right, so in this video, I want to explain to you, give you a kind of a high-level overview of how SEO works and why. So hopefully this won't be too boring, but it's really essential to understand to kind of demystify this mysterious, world of SEO. I know there's a lot of courses and information out there about SEO and how it works and why, and algorithms, and Google's constantly changing and stuff. But basically, Google, they're not good or bad. They don't hate you or hate your website, but they have one goal. They started out as a search engine. That's what powers all of their other entities and properties and tools that they have now. But they have one goal for the user, and that's to be they're a content curator. Basically, they're a big, like the largest content curator in the world, pretty much, and they basically organize all the world's information and web pages and videos. And so their one goal for their user, their visitor, is to display the best possible results for the visitor for whatever search query they're typing in the shortest amount of time. That's their one goal. And so if you can kind of align yourself with Google's goals, same goals, then you're going to do very well in the search engine, and you don't have to game them or do any kind of shady stuff to manipulate their algorithm, but just kind of be, structure your content and your website to be in alignment with their goals, and you're going to do fine, and you're not going to have to worry about these, algorithm changes and penalties that they give to other sites in the long term. Because this, SEO, again, it takes time. It's not a overnight push button strategy. So you want these assets that you're building and creating to stand the test of time and be around for years and years and years. That's the whole reason that you're putting in the time on the front end, because you want these to pay off, because you want these assets and properties to pay dividends for months and years to come. So that's kind of how Google works and how SEO works. So I'm talking about Google mainly because they make up for most of the search engine traffic. There's Bing and Yahoo and other search engines, but Google is definitely the largest one at the time of me making this video. And I want to kind of give you some insight into the structure of a website, which is made up of HTML, and why. And kind of to drive home and reinforce why SEO is not some mysterious, ever-changing, thing. Yes, there's algorithm changes, but that's on Google's side. That's not SEO. That's not HTML. They're constantly changing their algorithm to keep up with the black hat spammers and those kinds of people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the SEO changes, and I can prove to you why that's true. So, this is what you see on the front end of every website that you come across. You see all these pictures and text and things like that. And you see all these pictures and text and videos, and that's what you see on the front end. But if you come up here, I'm on Chrome, but if you come up here on Chrome to View, Developer, and then View Source, usually you can right-click on other web browsers and see the source code. But this is what you're going to see. This is what makes up all of this, text and graphics and stuff. This is the HTML code that tells this page what to display right here. And this video, and this image right here kind of simplifies what an HTML page is, what a web page is made up of. So you've got these tags here, a beginning tag and an end tag, which so you've just got HTML, and then you've got a header section, you've got a title section, you've got a body section, and then within the body section you've got things like headlines, subheadlines, paragraphs, and it's very, very similar. In fact, and it's very, very similar, if you might remember from your, if you've ever wrote like an essay or a term paper, it's very similar to, I believe it's MLA style formatting. So there were different, formats that you had to write your papers in high school and college, and the web And HTML is basically that same kind of structure. So you've got a header, you've got a title, and then you've got the body, and then within the body you've got headlines, subheadlines, paragraphs. You've got links or hyperlinks, and hyperlinks are basically like the references. So if you remember, you had to like reference things if you borrowed little paragraphs or sentences from specific text. You had to reference those all throughout your term paper and stuff. And hopefully this isn't getting all boring and everything, but I just wanted to kind of again give you an overview and kind of make some sense of SEO, which is, HTML is the framework, and I want to kind of connect the dots of like, HTML isn't some kind of mysterious, programming language. It has a structure to it, and it's very, very similar to MLA format, the MLA writing format, which I'm sure you've probably written an essay or a term paper sometime in your life. So this is something that you can kind of relate to. And the best example of the most optimized website out there on the planet that I can think of is a site you've probably come across once or twice called Wikipedia. So if we look here, Wikipedia is not the most sexy or fun website to read, but it's very, very, it's basically formatted in the most optimal way that Google would like to see this content. It's not sexy, but it looks very, very similar to a research paper or a term paper that you would turn in. So you've got the title up here, which is exactly what people search in if they're searching for like Apple, the company. Then the title is Apple Inc. Then it goes into some paragraphs about the company, and you've got all these references here, these hyperlinks here, and the references are here at the bottom, at the very bottom, just like a term paper. So you've got all these references here, and then you've got basically it's laid out just like a term paper. You've got headlines, headlines, subheadlines. And it's basically kind of everything about this one topic, which is Apple, and that's how their content is formatted for every single piece of post or page that exists on Wikipedia. And I know Wikipedia has been around for several years now, and you may think, well, the reason they're an authority website is because everybody links to them, they have all this traffic. But how do you think that started? How do you think they became an authority? It's because they have their website is formatted in a way that really just the search engines just kind of gobble it up, because it's formatted in basically alignment with what they're looking for, and how their spiders go out there and search for and index and rank and organize content, which is they follow these guidelines exactly as far as the structure. So they don't just have like an image here and then like a video there and image there. It's got the title, you got the introduction here, it's telling you here with this little legend here of what's coming up, and they're linking to the different parts of this article, which are down below. You've got headline, you got subheadline, and then everything on this page basically reinforces this main topic, which is this keyword up here at the top, which is Apple Inc., the company. And so again, I just wanted to shoot this video as a kind of overview and introduction into SEO, some of the history behind SEO, because I want to sort of demystify this idea that SEO is some kind of mysterious art that you can't understand, and nobody knows how it really works. It's actually really, really simple. And as we go through these different weeks and modules, I'm going to show you how to set up and structure the content of your website to sort of basically magnetically attract search engines like Google to quickly index and rank your content, so that you have an edge over all the other competitors. And you can do this ethically. You don't have to spam and do all this black hat stuff in order to rank your content quickly. And I know you may be thinking, well, if that black hat stuff works, if it works to get me results faster, should I be doing that? And the answer is no, not if you want these web properties to stay around for a while. You can play by the rules and be around a lot longer than trying to do all these spammy black hat techniques, because most of the time those black hat techniques, they only work to game the system temporarily and take advantage of like temporary little loopholes and algorithm changes. And then once Google kind of changes their algorithm, it shakes up all the search engine results again. And if they give your website a penalty, you may be at the bottom of Google and nobody will ever see you again, or at least for a couple of months or years. And again, we want to be in alignment with Google's goals, and so that they will rank our content for a very, very long time. Because as these algorithm changes happen over time, then yeah, your content may move around. It may move from page 1 to page 2, or page 1 to page 3, and then back to page 2. But at least that's better than being de-indexed or being sandboxed or being completely removed from Google's search results. And we don't want that, especially when we're investing a lot of time and energy into creating and optimizing these web pages and websites that we're putting together. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding of Google, how it works, SEO, a little bit of a history behind SEO and HTML, and kind of the structure of a web page. I know I don't want to dive like too deep into all of this, because there's no need in having to you don't have to have like a PhD or master's degree in like internet marketing to be successful and make a lot of money. But I wanted to give you that little piece of insight, and hopefully everything else moving forward will be a lot more simple. But I wanted to give you that overview and kind of high-level overview of how SEO works, so that you have that understanding, so that you know why, and then you can understand a lot of the things that I'll be teaching moving forward. Everything else is going to be a lot more simple, but I want you to just have a solid understanding of SEO, and not just know what to do, but why you're doing it and why it works, and why there's no need to get distracted by all these like SEO shiny object little softwares and keyword tools and all this stuff out there, because you can do a lot of the stuff that you need to do when it comes to SEO and ranking in Google. You can reverse engineer a lot of things and optimize your websites for the most part using manual processes. You don't need a suite of like SEO tools to do your job for you. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to be successful at SEO. And honestly, Google gives you pretty much everything that you need in order to be successful at SEO, pretty much for free, if you just know what to look for and where to look for. So again, this is just an overview of SEO and kind of how it works and why. And we're going to use this understanding to build upon with the next couple of modules and weeks to come. All the other information that I'm going to be sharing with you in the next several modules are going to build upon this structure, and it's going to reinforce all the stuff I've mentioned to you in this video.